Hey folks, we're here, Buckwell Bees. Today we're going to go through my top bar hives. I went through all my other boxes of hives here on this yard except for them over there. Everything looks good. There's only one hive I'm watching, and that's the one with the honey on the front there. The queen's kind of... No, I take that back. That's not the one. This is the one I'm watching. The queen's laying kind of shallow. She's not doing much at all. I'm going to have to go through this one another day because I have to go get another medium box. I'm out of medium boxes. Today we're going to go through this one. Now last year, going into winter, this was an extremely large hive. So large, in fact, this is how far back they were. And I had split them multiple times. You know? I think I got 4, 5, or 6 out of these. I got one stinging me in the shoulder, but alright folks, let's go through this. Here we go. Let's hope the bees don't hate me today. Here I come, girls. Into the hive we go. Oh, look at there. That was the last frame. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 frames back they started working. Or stopped working once winter came. So, let's start getting in here. Let's see how far back the honey is still. No honey there, but I see beetles, so let's start smashing. You know the routine. There was only one there. 2. A dead beetle. 3. 4. 5. Oh no, that's 5, 6. I usually always have them to the back of the hive. If you see them all at the back of the hive, it means the bees are basically working them. They're chasing them to the end of the hive. So they're doing their job. It's just I'm getting them out of the hive. I'm doing the rest for them. Alright, looks like we got about 8 beetles on that frame, which isn't bad. They just started storing honey here again. Re-backfilling. I don't see any more beetles on there. Okay. Next. Get rid of this brace comb. Always have a pointy knife if you have a top bar, or if you're going to get a top bar hive. It's just so you can run it down the long side of this wall, because they put brace cone against the walls here to hold the cone from moving. You know, it's just a natural way of traveling across and keeping the cone from falling off. Because this hive was so big actually that they got a little too warm last year, so I had to open it up completely. Alright, so now we're getting into the honey. And the beetles. We got about 3 right here I can see. I know the beetle thing is probably a little boring to watch, but I honestly, this is the best way to handle it, unless you put traps in there. Well, those 2 were mating, so good to get those out of there. Come on, beetles, get out of there. Some are being stubborn. Bees are trying to help me get them out of there. Now, I don't know if you ever not mess with the top bar, there's a couple ways you got to handle these frames. Unlike a traditional hive, you can't turn your frames unless you hold the base down here, like this. Especially if they're loaded with honey. Because if you do, it'll fall right off the top bar. So you got to move it like this. Or like this. It makes you actually be a lot more fragile with your cone and your bees. I always say that if you do a top bar hive, it will make you be a lot more fragile with everything. And And I will say one thing too, another about the top bar. There's a lot of pros and cons about both of the hives, obviously. But I like them because the bees seem actually a lot docile, more docile in these top bars than they do the boxes. And I think, and that could be just because I have different bees in here, you know what I mean? But in my opinion, I've always noticed that the top bars bees, even if I stick it on their hive, eventually calm down. And I think it's because it's more natural than maybe. I don't really know. Maybe they're just happier. Who knows? But I like these top bars. It was my. This is what I originally started with, was top bars. All right, mark that with honey. White for honey. We know that's a honey frame. We know there's honey on that too, but just started. It's not capped. We won't worry about it. Okay, a couple techniques too when you put your frames together on the top bar. Don't just smash them together. Work from one side where there's no bees on the between them, and if you see any bees in there, just bounce your bar a little bit, you know, together. And when you do it once or twice, the bees immediately move, and that way you don't squish no bees. You're closed up just like that. And then when you're done, you can literally slide the whole thing all at once. Pretty nice. Alright, let's get this brace done. This is the only time I really smush bees, if I'm going to when I cut the sides off from the walls. It's the only time I've ever really squished a bee on a top bar. It's the only way you really should be able to, unless you were in a rush and you smush them between the bars. Look at that, folks. Big bees, a lot of honey. It means they're stored. All these bees that are real big looking, real fat, they're just coming in with honey. Filling all, yep, this side's full of honey too. This is all capped honey. And all around it is uncapped honey. And drone cone. It's another thing about a top bar is they will draw drone cone. If you do no foundation on any hive, when they want to store honey, they'll draw drone cone because they can store more in cone per frame, I believe. I don't really know the science behind that, but alright, bounce these frames a little bit. Get these girls away between these bars. Just like that. Okay. Let's take you out here so you can get an idea what's going on inside the hive. But see, this brace cone here on the side is what I'm cutting. And this is what's holding it on. I just take my knife and run it down the side. And then I pop these frames. And I take one side one way and pull it out first. And then I'll peg this side out. And that just helps it from detaching without ripping cone. I'm trying to check my camera, make sure everything's good. Okay. There we go. Back into the hive. Cut my brace cone here. There's only a little bit on this side. Get my bees out of the way. Okay. That side's cut. There's only a few that usually are attached. It's only by 2 or 3 attachments usually. And you can usually find them pretty quick. Once you run your blade down, your cone will start moving when you know you got it loose. Alright, you pop one side, for example. Okay. And I swing it out. And then I swing this side out. Like this. There it is. That way it detaches. Oh, this is full. Now with this kind of cone, you have to be very, very careful on the top bar. When it's loaded like this with honey, you have to be very careful with it. Because it will fall right off this freaking bar if you tilt it any other way. And this is why some state inspectors don't like top bars, because they have to inspect the hive and they don't like to have to fondle the cone so gently. They like to get in and out. But I think this is beautiful. I love seeing this. Look how beautiful that is. And they've got pollen on one side too. Wonderful. Look how heavy. That's probably 5 pounds right there. That's a lot of weight just that for one frame. Alright, so we got 2 frames that we just did. That's honey and pollen. Well, this one's pollen too. So we'll take my white stickers for honey, like capped honey. Try to make it easy. So white for capped honeys on this one. And you can buy these rolls of stickers at Uline for cheap. So, you know, and then I have purple for pollen, a mark for pollen. That one's got pollen on it as well, so we'll put purple for pollen, so we know it is pollen. And the only reason I do this, so if I come back to this split, I don't have to go through the whole hive to know where I have everything, unless they've moved it, but usually they don't when it comes to that pollen and honey like that, unless you force them to. Alright, girls, bump a little bit. Now you can use smoke and smoke the edge here and run them down, but I don't use smoke unless my bees are just being ornery and aggravating. If they're being friendly like they are, like these two are just feeding each other. Come on, girl, get out of the way. There you go. No bee smashed. Alright, do it again. Ever so slightly. Or surely. And get down to, oh, this one's braced pretty good. That's when you need a good sharp knife. Because what it is, I'm getting into the older cone. The older brood cone that I guess they had turned in. It looks like honey stores. It might be brood. We'll find out here in a second. If this is brood, then she's way back here. Okay. That side. Okay. I think I gotta be there because they're not happy with what I just did. Okay. I know, girls. At least you're being somewhat friendly for me doing that. You end up smashing bee at least once. Try not to smash as many as I can. Okay, that side's loose, so I'll swing that side out first. And then I'll get it off this other side here. Alright, and this one feels like a lot of honey. Oh yes, honey pollen, honey pollen. A lot of pollen. Ooh, this cone is going to have to be very gentle with. Okay, this is the honey and pollen frame. Okay, squeeze them back together here. Come on, girls, get out of the way. I don't want to squish you. Okay. Next. Looks like more and more honey. Goodness gracious, girls. I'm going to have to checkerboard these just to, if I don't get into brood soon, because she's going to be honey bound. If none of this up front's open. You can see where I had it marked for last year, so this is where they were when they went in the winter. We'll see where they've moved to. Probably not far, what it looks like. They didn't eat much of their honey. Yeah, girls, they didn't eat much of your honey. Gonna have to split you this year, aren't we? Yeah, we're gonna have to take you somewhere new. Yeah, take you somewhere new. Alright. Okay, so here's the problem. This cone, oh, here's the queen too. I found her. She's laying drones. Okay. This whole frame is nothing but drone cone almost. So, usually if she wasn't on this frame, I would move it to the back. but she's on this frame, so we're just going to have to leave it like this for now. Okay, girl, stay right there until I get this cone over there. I don't like my queen being out in the open like that. Another pollen and honey. Pollen. This is a whole pollen frame. Holy Jesus. Okay. I got these spaced because she's right there. Alright, now I'm getting into the brood. So, I could. Let me think here. I have other cone and other top bars that ain't being used. That I need to really stick in between here to give her more babies, because she's all the way to the back laying in drone. And it looks like this next cone is full of babies. We're going to have to check how much space she has, because we might have to give her some space. Alright, I had to switch a few bees there, but on accident. It slid on me. Sure they're not going to be happy with that once I open it back up. Alright, here we go. To the brood. Is it brace coned, I wonder? I'm sure it is, yeah. No, maybe not. Sometimes they don't, ow. Sometimes they don't attach to the side. Makes it nice. I knew I was going to get a few stings for smashing them bees. Alright, here's the brood. Well, they've got enough pollen, I'll tell you what. Every one of these frames is loaded with pollen. So much, in fact, that, like I said, she's not got much room to lay brood. Look at this other side. It's all brood. I don't see any cells yet. Okay, and we have another issue. It looks like we have another drone cone up here. See, what happens is when they get a honey flow and they run out of space for honey. I know I got bees attacking me all over the place now because I smashed them. So what I have to do is move it to the back where they would put honey in it. Shoot. I'm trying to think where I want to steal cone from. I have a dead hive over there that has cone in it. What to replace it with. Alright, let's find that last cone that was in here. There it is. That's the last cone. Let's go one more in. That's where we're going to stick her, right where the honey is starts, where we're going to stick that drone. This is I guarantee the whole frame of drones. I would almost guarantee it. It looks like it. What it was is it had honey in it, and then, you know, come springtime, she starts laying drone in it. Come on, frame, get off of there. There it is. Sometimes they stick pretty good. Alright, see what I'm saying about all drone? I don't want this in the front of my hive. I don't want this in where the brood chamber's at. We want this in the back. I want all those drones to hatch out and they'll backfill that with honey. Alright. Let's hope there's not any more of those in the middle of the brood. Alright, let me go see if I have cone I can switch out. That way she don't have to use any honey to draw anything out. I know this hive's dead. I lost it because, well, it fell over. Got a little wet. Leg broke on it. See? And that's what happens. Got wet. They got wet and froze. Mouse decided to come in here and take over the hive. I tried feeding them, as you can tell. Didn't work out very well when they get wet. Alright, let's see what we can find in here. I got combs in here, I know that. Take this out, don't need that in there. No, don't need that in there. Get the mouse out, because we don't need that in there. Alright, let's see what kind of comb. Oh my goodness. I got a family of mice in here. Set this on the ground. Pick up some cone. Best looking cone. And the straight cone. We want straight, good looking cone. I got a family of mice in here I'm trying to get out. Yeah. I don't know why they're still living in here. Alright, let's find some. Okay. This one looks pretty good. Straight, not too dead, not too old, no drone cone in it. There's not any too much damage. It looks like it's all worker cells. Okay. Stick this right in here. Clean this up real quick. Not too worried about it being wet with this hive. This hive is going to just dry up super fast. Okay. Alright, put that right here. Alright, let's start marking. I keep forgetting to mark my damn frame. Alright, let's start marking here. Put it back on my head. Make sure the camera's still recording. Okay. I think I just got stung on the back of the neck. The girls probably have been open a little too long, and they are not liking me. Or at least not all the bees that are trying to get in their hive here. Let's do that for now. Ow! Come on now, girls. I'm trying to close you up and stuff. That's what happens when you squish a bee. They don't like messing with you no more. They don't like you messing with them when you squish a couple of their friends. Or their sisters, I should say. Okay. See how scatterbrained we can get today. Put that back. Alright, we'll continue to move on. These are nice when these frames ain't attached to the side. It makes it pretty easy to get them out. Alright, more brood. Oh yeah, she's still got place to fill. I mean, she's back filling. This is all brood that's hatched out. All new babies. No queen cells, so we're still good there. Still going to give them some space though, because I'm sure she wants it. Alright, so Now that I'm getting more frames and more frames open here, I'm going to have to get them off the frames here. I think my smoker's about out. Gosh darn it. One thing, it's another. It's when you wish you had clones of yourself. And get things done more, quicker, faster, better, easier. Something like that. Okay, now I'm only using the smoke to get them off the edge of these frames so I can put them back together without smushing so many damn bees. Because now I know where the queen's at. She's in the back part here. That she's not going to get that smoke directly. I don't want her to get that smoke. I don't want to agitate her. Okay, let's mark this one with brood. Or blue. Alright, clean up the side a little bit here with the burr cone. Come on, girls, I'm gonna have to clean that up, so you're gonna have to get out of the way. I don't need any more smashing. They didn't like the first time I did that. Okay. Put that in the cone bucket. Alright, to the next brood. Definitely in the brood chamber now. It's a big hive. It's going to need split. Maybe. I mean, I won't split her until I start seeing cells. Then I'll take her out. I'll take the queen and move her somewhere with some babies and everything she needs. And then I'll let these guys raise a new one out of this hive. They seem to do it pretty good every year, so. Yep. Whole bunch of babies. I don't see any queen cups. Nothing like that yet. So she's not wanting to go anywhere. Come on, girls, get out of the way. Come on. Don't want to smash you. Alright. Mark that one. Yeah, this hive is gigantic. It is gigantic. I'm trying to clean up the bees I smashed in the frames here. On accident. It was not on purpose. Okay, girls, I'm coming in to take the burr cone out. So look out. Or brace cone, some people might say. You can see I've got about 10 of them. They're not happy with me. They're still aggravated about those 2 or 3 bees I smashed. They're not stinging, but they sure are bouncing. Okay, this one's still attached pretty good, so I've got to find the other brace here without smashing any more bees. Okay, I think I got this one. Alright, got this side. Usually you can do it even if you get one side, because like I said, once you swing it out like this, if I can get this to... There it is. If you swing one side out, even if the other side's not detached, it will naturally detach. Okay, this one's a mixture of drone and regular. I wish it wasn't so much drone. But the back side isn't too much drone. That's okay. I'm not too terribly upset about that. But there's no honey on here anymore, and there's So we'll get that off there. No pollen on that. Get that off there. They've moved all their pollen to the back. I've definitely noticed that. Or they've used all the pollen they have and got all the pollen, new pollen put in the back. So far is what I'm saying.